Okay, has everyone had chance to digest whatever happened, especially Shravan?
Hey, go man, I'm done crying. Look at these dark circles. I'm really done. But I'm also very glad this season is over. Oh, this is the worst thing ever.
Season is over. Yeah, all you have to do is just give Guard of Honor for Liverpool, and
Yeah, it's
then
not
the
over,
season is
bro.
over. Yes.
Sunday after that 10 seconds, forget, write it off.
Why should I watch that rubbish?
But I
I don't
think
understand.
of the three of us, Pusha still has something to play, something to fight for.
Well, you
Yeah,
won
this weekend.
yours.
Maybe 2 minutes if we can spend on Liverpool winning the 20th title and equaling Manchester City. Like it's completely lost.
Manchester
Everyone is
City,
like,
yeah.
okay, you won
Feels
Premier
like
League.
it's gone long time ago. Yeah.
No, okay, you won Premier League. Okay, let's move on. What's the next game?
This every time this happens with you guys. When you all win one title, there's like some other thing that's happening in the world that is taking over preference.
Crazy, man.
COVID, war.
Yeah,
Something new is happening.
yeah.
One ultimate Champions League semi-final. Something or the
Yeah.
other will come in between them and
Somebody will
celebrate.
steal the thunder of Liverpool all the time, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like we haven't even properly won the title by the time. So Trent broke his news. It became all about Trent. Now, hey, what is the future? So what
He
is the
waited
future of
until
Liverpool?
he waited until the game was over. So I mean, I think you guys wrapped it up. Only after that he came out, right?
Yeah. I'm just like joking. But anyway, yeah. So we can move on to the hottest news, I guess.
Hey, but tell me something.
Yeah.
This Chelsea gave Liverpool Guard of Honor. No. Now, why for this Mikel Arteta? Why he wants to go and give again now? It's just this whole statement I didn't understand. He's like,
Wait,
oh,
why wouldn't they are the champions, bro?
So from now till the end of the season, you'll keep giving or what?
Yeah,
They got
whoever
more from
whoever
Chelsea.
wants to give
What?
respect, they'll
That's
give.
what I'm saying.
You could be an asshole and not do anything.
But
You don't
it's
have to
the
be
tradition to
extra
give
nice and
Guard
give
of
it.
Honor.
Yeah, that's all.
Well,
The thing is that
so-
if you give now,
Wait. This dude he wants to win the league in 30th game for 8 games. After that, he wants Guard of Honor every game, it seems.
I don't mind, bro.
what is the point of wrapping up the league so early if you're not getting the Guard of Honor from like the rest of the 8 games?
They gave
Bro,
Chelsea enough. Be
First
happy.
of all, I don't think Liverpool wrapped up the title. Second place team, third place team, they wrapped up
they
the
gave it
title
up, yeah.
much before
Yeah.
Liverpool wrapped up the title.
Yeah.
All I hope is these fellows continue to just lose all the other games and let us be second, because I can't take this shit where we'll go down to fifth or something and barely
Yeah.
qualify for Champions League, man.
If that will happen, then you should fire Arteta finally. But then, yeah, you will give him one more
Rama.
season for sure.
So I think if Shravan talks about Arsenal, I think he's only going to be negative. So I'm gonna play the positive element of it. So, okay, so I'm gonna give the love to Arsenal purely because of that ass whooping they gave to Real Madrid, the 5-1 against across both legs.
Don't make it self-motivated, man.
It is.
What do you mean? It is self-motivated.
As a Barcelona fan, what
Exactly,
what
yeah.
will you have to say?
I confessed my love to Arsenal in the last pod. If you don't remember that, yeah.
I remember,
I
yeah.
was hoping that you take care of the snake, but you fell flat. That's a different story anyway. But yeah, so I mean, I'm thankful for that magical moment Arteta gave me, but that's all the positives. That's all.
Maybe
This-
short-lived.
So maybe
Yeah.
that should be special thanks to Declan Rice more than Arteta.
Yes, yeah.
I don't feel thankful or something for Arsenal, whatever it is. I think for me, I think Arsenal had a tough season for sure, but a lot of it is for their own wrongdoing, I guess. Like the January transfer was super, super important. Didn't do anything there. But for me, I think what is on top of my mind right now is how is the recent press conferences of Mikel Arteta. Instead of going and just giving PSG their like flowers, and so easy to say that PSG were the better team of two legs. They whooped the entire Premier League's ass from Liverpool to Aston Villa to Arsenal as
City
well.
before that.
Oh yeah,
And
so
City
Man-
before that as well.
Oh yeah, Man
Yeah.
City before that as well. But then like to go on and say that they were the better team, PSG's bench told me this, blah blah blah. It just was so comical. Like after
PSG's bench
such
told
a
me.
loss,
Yeah.
right? That's exactly
I
what he
don't
told.
think he
Like, when they
understood.
asked like who
It
told
must
you you were
have
better,
been-
yeah, PSG's bench told me we were better. I'm like, bro.
Even if that was true, no. Even if that was true, I think this fellow didn't understand sarcasm there, dude.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Okay. I wanna get your thoughts on some long statement I've read on the internet. Okay, this is from a PSG supporter. PSG supporter here. I am not a supporter of a particular English club, so I have no bias here. But just compare the way Liverpool conducted themselves after their loss compared to Arsenal. They were class and accepted that PSG had been the better side. They congratulated us and wished us good luck. And unlike Arsenal, they only lost in penalties, weren't technically beaten on the field. That's really all you need to know about the difference between a historic great club like Liverpool and Arsenal.
Yeah.
Liverpool won the CL 6 times and shown more class and elegance than Arsenal ever will. They didn't moan and claim they were the best team left in the competition when they were down 3-0 over 2 legs with 15 minutes to go. As a long-time PSG supporter, I will never forget how Liverpool handled themselves compared to Arsenal. Truly a great club.
Okay, I think that's a bit exaggerated towards Liverpool being such a great club. We also have our own share of like asshole fans.
I call Sus on PSG supporter here.
Yeah, yeah.
That too long.
It's not me, by the way. I didn't write it. Let me like put it out. No, but
We shall do some digging and find out if it is actually you.
yeah,
Like
I
the
think
IP
going to that point, right? I don't know, like if we want to overthink this, is this Arteta coming under crazy pressure 5 seasons? Because I felt like over the last 2 weeks, his statements have been like incredibly odd. But then going back to Arsenal, dude, it's super evident for us. Like the team was plagued with injuries and they still played in, I think, what they showed in like Real Madrid. Think everyone thought, okay, this is going to like also continue as well. But what unfolded at PSG was, I think, just like outplayed, outcoached over both legs. So that's probably what happened. And I think it's crazy to think that lot other PLs or clubs will have a chance at trophy like Man City, Man U, Tottenham, Chelsea. I think that sort of like angers, the fan base more, I guess. So that's my take at least for now.
Can somebody check Odegaard's contract? Is he being paid for the pass percentage or something like that? Dude never takes a risk. He's always the safest ball passer I've ever seen, at least in the recent times. He never used to be like this, at least before the injury, I guess. At least he used to be that the through balls through the defense to find the winger or even the striker, the non-existent striker at this point. But this, even in the Madrid win, he didn't do anything great.
Yeah.
But there was enough talent and Madrid was abysmal enough to get through that game. But in this over 2 legs, Odegaard was absolute shit. Didn't do anything. They couldn't force themselves to actually go make something happen at all. The only thing that was good happening was Saka and nothing else.
The last point that I will say is before I hand it back to Sushavan, I don't want anyone talking about Nunez anymore after Saka's miss. But anyway.
Oh,
that's probably the only low
tap
blow.
in. Yeah.
Go for it, Shravan. Unleash.
So, couple of things, right? One is, like just Avinash just said, like outplayed, outcoached. I don't think we were outcoached. The difference between the two teams was the fact that we didn't take our chances and they took every chance that they got. That's all it was at the end of the day. They ran us ragged in the center of the park. I'll give Vitinha a lot of
Careful,
credit
you
for
sound
it.
like Arteta now.
No, I'm not saying we were the better team. I'm just saying we weren't outclassed or outcoached. Like, I genuinely think Arteta set us up to actually try and get something out of the game. We saw that in the first 15 minutes. But this is extremely classic Arsenal this season. First 15 minutes, go extreme, high tempo, get everyone in, get the ball in the box, have like some crazy 60-65% possession with like 8 shots on target, and then not score anything. And then on the other side, give off some like worldly goal that should go nowhere near that post, but will somehow go in, and then we'll go flat. This has happened like some 9 or 10 times this season, and it's just standard. And I was messaging you guys the same thing when the match was going on. I was like, we're starting too fast for our own good. We are going to concede a goal, and then after that, nothing's going to happen.
So then, like, I mean, isn't that being outcoached? Like, isn't that like a flaw
That's what I'm
in
saying,
like,
right?
Arsenal's playing style itself?
I'm not saying he's out. That's not outcoached, right? It's not like Luis Enrique did anything special for the game. He just set his team out to play the way they played every other game as well, right? When you look at how they had exposed Aston Villa, right? Like the openness in that game, that wasn't available. That kind of outlet wasn't available to them this game. Like Kvaratskhelia, I know had a shot that hit the post. They should have been 2-0 up. Vitinha's shit penalty. But at the end of the day, I don't really think we were so bad as much as the scoreline reflected it up until like the 75th or 80th minute of that two-legged tie. By the first half of the second leg, only we were out of the tournament, right? Because we couldn't take those chances, and for that you need to blame whoever it is, whether it's the Arteta or the board, for not bringing in someone that can do something. You can't keep asking the same set of players to do the same thing week in, week out, when the rest of the world is kind of figuring out how you're working, and then keep doing the same thing and expect some results to come out of it. Like Pusha was saying, right? Like, it's not that Arsenal were mind-blowing against Real Madrid. Real Madrid was just that bad, right?
I told you.
No.
I told you.
We were the better.
I have a
team.
slightly different opinion. I don't know. Outside of this two like Declan Rice wonders, I don't think Arsenal was insanely threatening.
That's what. So we don't have a lot going on.
Yeah, so it-
in front of the goal that is causing problems for us, which is a mistake on our part, right? Like, but I don't think Arteta as a coach made a mistake against PSG in the way he set the team up. The only mistake that I was telling you guys even on chat was the fact that he left Martinelli on for way too long in that game. He should have brought on Ethan Nwaneri, moved Saka to the left, tried something different, but he keeps giving Martinelli that little bit of credit because this guy tracks back, he runs back defense, and which you can't expect a lot from the other attackers in the team. I think that's his one failure.
So
In
probably
his defense, he
No,
couldn't get Saka to the left, right? So Saka was the only good thing happening, and that was happening because he was on the right.
No, I mean, like Saka technically started off on the left. He started off his career as a left back. So it's not like he's not.
That's
known to
okay.
play there.
But in that game, everything was flowing simply because Saka
I
was
understand.
there. And
I understand.
I
Instead of
don't
passing
think
to the right, passing to the right, to the left. That's all. Like, there's no big difference
it's
in the
not.
style
It's
of play.
not the same. Come on, so
But
But
I
it
think
was
so.
not
Probably I'm saying the same thing in a bit of a different way, bro. Like I'm saying Arteta has this like one style and he relentlessly like pursues this one style
Yeah, I don't
without
know
trying
if
to do
it's-
like anything in the game. That is what I'm talking about, like coaching moments from Arteta. Like what
Yeah,
are
that's what I'm
some
saying.
of,
When you say
like,
outcoach,
if-
when you say outcoach, what did Luis Enrique do differently that was a tactical genius moment from him? Nothing he did.
Yes, that's what like you yourself told it right in terms of the substitutions. Like so, make bolder substitutions, sooner substitutions, influence the game more. When you can see the team is flat, so nothing is happening. Induce a change, right? You
Correct.
can influence that as a manager, which I don't see Arteta doing at all. That's,
I agree
that's
with
probably
you.
what I'm trying to say.
I think both of us are saying the same thing that
Yeah.
he's showing his inexperience, but what I'm differing from you is the fact when you say he's outcoached, that means Luis Enrique did something different. I'm just saying Luis Enrique didn't do
Fair,
anything. We just shot ourselves in the foot, right? That was one. And then like Pusha was talking about Odegaard, right? I don't fully understand what happened to him, but in the last 2 years, his decline has been way too bad for us to be able to have him as the captain and the person who's supposed to unlock defenses that will help us win games. Now, my problem is the fact that we got rid of Vieira. We sent him to loan on Porto, didn't bring him back in January because we were hoping for Odegaard to do things. And he's the only creative outlet that we have in the center who's supposed to do some sort of magic, like that Mesut
I
Ozil
totally
style who can
forgot about
unlock
this guy.
defenses. Right?
yeah, I totally forgot about this guy.
Which guy?
Vieira.
Vieira. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when he himself is not doing it, then that pressure comes and builds up on someone like Declan Rice to do things on both ends of the pitch. It almost felt to me like Jude Bellingham was playing that game. He's trying to attack also, he's trying to defend also. It's less like that one person trying to do everything and keep the ball rolling, which is too much for one guy. Right? I don't think I can fault anyone else. For once, David Rayas did something when a penalty was happening. That
Sure,
itself was
yep.
a big confidence boost for me. I was like, "Appa, you didn't dive before like one person
And
was
that was
high
a
on
terrible
speed."
penalty as well. Yeah, Vintinia didn't give him a challenge to begin with, but Raya was smart enough to at least wait for it. Yeah.
But that's how all of Vitinia's penalties are. It's
Sure,
that
yeah,
lackluster approach to a penalty that he takes all the time. So he just happened to dive in the right time. But at least I'm happy he didn't dive first before the ball was kicked, like how he did against United in the
Sure.
FA Cup. But yeah, dude, other than that, I can't complain. Here's one thing I'll tell you. Yes, he should be winning trophies, whether it's the small ones. Yes, it sucks that people who are 16th, 17th, 6th, 7th, 8th are in contention for trophies that Arsenal are not. But I don't think anyone can deny the fact that this man has taken the club to a position where we never thought it would be. Like back in 2020 when I was watching that COVID terrorist football that I was seeing, I genuinely did not think in 5 years we'd be in the Champions League semi-final. I genuinely did not think we'll ever beat Real Madrid. I genuinely did not think we'll go head to head with. Well, Liverpool is not head to head; they ran away, so credit to them. But never thought we'll go head to head with Manchester City and Pep Guardiola for a title, push it till the last day, lead a Premier League for 250 days. Never thought that would happen. So there is 100% progress that's being made. Now the one thing I'm fearing is he going to be like a Pochettino for Spurs? Really good to a point, but doesn't get you over the line to win trophies. I don't want to see that happening, which is why I want him to win something this year, or well next year. Otherwise, it becomes a Pochettino legacy for me, which is really scary. Yeah,
I think that's fair. Like maybe to ask you, like at what point does Arsenal take that call? Like, okay, do you see now again? It's like we have been talking of like Arteta playing things a bit safe, etc. Right
Hmm.
now, is Arsenal as a club playing it so safe? Okay, Arteta has this massive influence. We gave him all this cash. We need to put like more, or does Arsenal take a bold step right now to say something needs to change and it needs to change now?
My honest opinion, I don't know how to frame this that will come out in a way where it actually conveys what I'm thinking, right? There are deficiencies in Arteta that I want him to change. Like you pointed out, more in-game management.
Yeah.
Be more ruthless and say, "Do screw it. If we lose, we lose, but I'm going to go for the win." Right?
Better
Moments
press
like this.
conferences too, please. Just add.
But forget better question. Like I
They're just
understand
light,
where
yeah.
he's coming from, dude. Like I will stand with you when you say he's giving the most absurd reasons for not winning shit. Like some of the stuff is just absolute blatantly rubbish. We've had more points than Liverpool when they won the title, which is not true because at that point of the season,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
had
yeah.
82, we had 81 and 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
that
will, I
itself
will,
is
I
not
will
true.
post the clip here on the pod. Don't worry.
That he has to do, right? Like this rubbish about us being better than PSG is absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
Basically decimated the entirety of the Premier League. Like Luis Enrique said, they're the Farmers League, no? But still, they've literally beaten every English opponent that was thrown at them.
Yeah, I think somebody has to correct that. Farmers League doesn't mean your best team is not better than our top four. Farmers League means you don't have competition there. That's all.
Correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's taken in both contexts, unfortunately, right? So PSG definitely were the better team, and no one in the right conscience would say Arsenal were the better team. He's just under pressure right now. I don't think he's able to handle the fact that questions are being asked of his management, especially given that so many people were praising him for the last 2-3 years on the fact that he's got Arsenal to where they are.
Yeah.
So that's rubbish, right? But going back to what I was saying, right? Arteta needs to change a little bit. He needs to call a spade and say, dude, you're not performing, you're out of the team. Right, which he's not doing with Martinelli, he's not doing that with Odegaard. He just keeps giving them chance after chance, which is not correct. But I think the board needs to step up, recognize that there are players or places where they need to invest, long-term investments. Like a striker has been needed for 3-4 seasons now. Gabriel Jesus is not good enough. Someone needs to be ruthless and say, you not good enough for the club, get out. Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli needs to leave. Can't help it. I'm in fact pissed off that we're letting someone like Tierney leave who actually plays for the badge. Like Martinelli does nothing on the pitch. It just saddens me, but he does nothing on the pitch, right? But we need to get rid of him. Can't keep him in the club right now. That needs to happen. And then at the end of the day, we'll see if this guy gets you results or not. Which in my opinion, he will. And again, I'm going to post, like you said, you'll post that, right? I'm going to post the fact that this is a manager that has got us to a Champions League semi-final and continues to stay second in the Premier League, having 27 injuries, at least 8 or 7 more than
TBD.
every. What do you mean TBD?
Second place is not guaranteed anymore for Arsenal.
Okay, whatever. I'm saying today, as of today, right?
Yeah.
We're still second in the Premier League. Not competing, but we're still second in the Premier League with 27 people being injured. And that's not normal, man. That's just genuinely not normal. Expecting the same set of buggers to play every week. And then at some point of time, the rhythm keeps getting cut off because someone gets injured. It's just tough. So I would definitely say it's a tough season, but not a bad season.
Yeah.
That's according to me.
Yeah. I think the summary is fair, bro. But I guess where I am trying to go is like this summer is probably as crucial as it was 5 years ago when you guys brought in Arteta, where you could see few of your stars leaving, like Saliba, etc. You need to bring in first team players, strikers, etc. With whatever Arteta has done so far and with everything that you have seen so far, would you trust him with another big window, right? And
Yes.
you are also going to see, so next year the competition is going to be even bigger, right? It's going to be even bigger than this year. Man City is going to be back. Newcastle is going to be back. Liverpool hopefully will be back. And
What do you
all
mean
of
back?
these
You just
things
won the
in there,
league.
right? Sorry?
What do you mean Liverpool hopefully will be back? You won the league. You go down as favourites for the title next year.
As you have a stupid board, I have a stupid owner called FSG. So I will only see when contracts are there signed and anyway.
Fair-
But yeah,
fair enough.
so that was what I was pushing for. Maybe
So
I
there are
have
two
another
things.
question here, but Spushy, I don't know if you had thoughts.
Sorry, but I want to address one thing you just said. Right? One, you asked me if I would trust a manager like this manager with more money and another window and stuff, right? I am currently being hard pressed to identify 3 or 4 bad signings that this guy has made. Like, in my opinion. One standout is Sterling. Standout terrible signing.
I mean, that's a loan bet. I think that's
Whatever,
like
whatever,
high
right? Like,
high
at the end of the
upside anyway. Like I would not
Exactly,
think on
right?
it.
whatever. I'm just saying, in terms of signings, I don't think he's made a lot of mistakes in terms of people he's signed. So I absolutely would trust this manager to bring in the right person and see if that could fit the team. That's one.
Do you think spending $90 million on Zinchenko plus Jesus was a good transfer decision
At the time,
in the long
at
run?
the time,
At that time, yes, I
yes,
feel
100%.
yes.
At the time,
You have the opportunity to look back and see whether it made sense right now or not. 90 million is not small money, especially
two
for
players,
Arsenal
it's
when
small.
they are
It's
not spending.
No, bro. I
90
think
million
at that
for two
time it
players
was
is good.
So I think
See,
at that time it was more Arteta also knew these players, right? He brought them
Exactly.
from Man City to bring it into the Arsenal system.
So there are two things here, right? So Pusha, there are two things here. At the time when he brought them in, right, we were still 5th or 8th or whatever we were in the league, right? And we just got rid of people who were actually world class at that point in terms of Aubameyang. We got rid of Ozil the previous year and stuff like that. So we didn't have anyone with any sort of winner's mentality in that team. And here is a manager who's bringing in two players that were easily available to him without so much money, right? That are going to elevate the team from where they were. So they were always going to be a stepping stone. Is Gabriel Jesus the long-term
Striker.
person at number 9? Absolutely not. But for 45 million, especially at a time when people like Anthony and all are going for 90 million, 95 million, 100%, dude. Great decision at that time. I would
I
never
don't
do
know.
anything.
I would have to disagree with that. 90 million on Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus
It's, again,
is
two
not
players.
a team. It's not a manager who is looking for winning something. I don't think
I don't
that's
think
the
he
way
was
I
looking for
look
winning
at it.
something at that point. I think
At
he was
that
looking
point,
to
he
like
was
boost the
about
team.
winning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No. So we all have the advantage of looking back right now. Has Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus have been productive for Arsenal in the sense that you're trying to you're trying to paint him when they were making the decision, right? 2 or 3 years ago, you were looking at Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko. Okay, these are winners with Man City, worked with Arteta. They're going to come in and they're going to do something for us. What did they do? They didn't do anything.
Yeah,
Zinchenko has been
you're-
more of a liability, and Gabriel Jesus plays
No.
as a fullback half the time. That's my opinion.
I agree. I'm just
Yeah.
telling you what you're seeing is what you are talking about is on-field performances. Yes,
Yeah.
you're paying the money for the on-field performance. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Right. But you cannot disregard the influence and the mentality shift that they would have brought in the dressing room. Right. That itself is-
Not for 90 million. Come on, $90 million. I'm not paying
Dude,
for cheerleaders, man. Come on.
You're talking about spending 150 million on Coutinho who got kicked. out
Yes,
of
that was a
Champions League.
horrible transfer. I'm ready to agree with that. Yeah.
Thank you again. Forever,
that
forever
was-
indebted.
Yes, that
Forever
was one of the
indebted.
worst possible decisions Barcelona has ever made, and then they repeated that with Griezmann. But that's what
My
happened.
point being,
One of
my
the
point
best for
being,
Liverpool, like
in
clearly.
today's transfer market, 90 million for two players isn't that much money.
No,
That's
come
what I'm
on,
trying
man.
to say.
You can't say that. You can't say that just because it's chiller, you're okay with it.
I mean, I needed those See, at that point, Arsenal didn't even have a strong pull in the market, right? So now you're getting people who won multiple titles to come into your team, and you're not even spending, you're not even breaking the bank to get them. Why would you say no?
No,
to that?
I would consider 95 or 90 million, even round figure it to 90 million for both of them is still an overprice in my opinion.
Fair enough.
They were overpriced and they didn't do anything for that 90 million other than whatever the cheerleading you seem to have uncovered inside the dressing room. I do not know.
I
of.
agree.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. That's beside the point. Forget that for now. I just want to address what he was saying, right? So one question he asked me was, do I trust this manager? Absolutely, right? Sorry. The other thing that I'm also looking at, right, is when you think about a manager like Arteta, if he's the right person in the world, like in world football right now, to take your club to the next level, has he reached his peak? Essentially, it's the question, right? Who do you have right now that Arsenal can go and confidently say this person is going to be a step up from Arteta? In world football right now, who is that person? I don't think we can confidently say that there is someone out there with the news of Xabi Alonso going to Real Madrid right now, right? So would any business take a risk about giving away someone who's actually proven themselves and now saying, hey, no, now that's all for you. We'll go to someone else. I don't think so.
I don't know about that.
Who is that?
Our scouting is not as good as your sporting department
Fair
scouting
enough,
is.
but, no,
I'm sure
I'm
that
just
they
saying.
have a short list of managers who they think okay, probably these are very good for
They'll have to have
Arsenal
no.
in
Tomorrow he
general.
drives
Right.
to work and he gets hit by a truck. You
Exactly.
need to have one. Yeah,
Right.
but
So when you know that it's not working out, in the sense that yes, you may feel that this team has grown, but give it 2 to 3 weeks, or maybe another 2 game weeks, where you're going to see those losses come in against either Liverpool or the other team which they are playing, some
Newcastle.
other big team.
Newcastle.
So yeah. So if at that point I'm gonna have to say in a season where none of the top usual 3-4 have performed that well, except for the Liverpool for the amazing run they have put together, and also good for them that they didn't have that many. So they were able to continue that run all the way through. It was good. Whatever Liverpool had to do, they did it, and they made sure that they got that. But in a season where it shouldn't have been this much of a gap between Arsenal and Liverpool, in my opinion. Yeah. So this was a degrade in terms of their Premier League performance. Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe.
bit of recency bias in there, Saka coming back. So Arsenal continued to be at the form they were. You could also say that they were focusing on Champions League, Premier League. But anyway, I think we can move on.
We lost the Premier League quite a while back, and then once we got the first leg against Real Madrid, I think it became all about the Champions League.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not getting into the PGML discussion here, but that's a controversy for another day. But
That was first half of the season. We can
it happened. Yes, it happened last week. Forget first half.
Yeah.
Clear handball, not given as a goal. It was given as a goal rather. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so you feel Arteta is good. I have another question. This is more in terms of Arsenal fan base reactions. Dude, the swing of Arsenal fan base, at least on social media, I cannot handle, man. I am
What do you
unable to handle this.
What do
Two
you mean?
Declan Rice free kicks later, Champions League is a lock. Everything is going well. Arteta is the greatest person ever. This is the club to play. PSG loss afters, it's extreme opposite. It's what the fuck are we doing? How are we doing?
I agree.
Dude, I mean, it is obviously awesome entertainment for non-Arsenal fans to see the sine curve go up and down, up and down, up and down.
It's the two extremes, right? Arteta is Messiah. And number two, I can do a better job than Arteta.
I can. What is that?
Everyone's a football manager, dude.
Robbie, you go manage. Yeah, I'll go manage, man. Let me go.
I mean, see, there is
No.
a
I think the
drama.
place where I'm trying to go there is I know fans can be extreme, but when all other fan bases point to when all others unanimously say Arsenal is extreme, does Arsenal fan base need mind shift change?
What the Arsenal fan base needs is one manager that can deliver them some trophy of worth that they believe is needed for this club.
Any trophy at this point.
Not any trophy.
Dude,
they need to get something.
I will give it. I'll give it. ETH got a trophy. Newcastle won the freaking trophy.
No, let's call a spade, right? Winning a Carabao Cup is not going to unite the fan base. Winning an FA Cup will, to a certain extent, do that, right? But what the fan base has been clamoring for is that Premier League again, is that Champions League that we've never won. Getting one of those is what is going to unite this fan base. Because otherwise, there is going to be this. Now, you clearly have said, Boss, Champions League is my priority. I'm not going to I give up the Premier League. It was a meek, we just basically surrendered it, man. There was no fight only this year, right? So we were like, okay, fine, screw it. You screwed up the league, you're headache. Now you said Champions League is a priority. You should be winning that, right? So when you win against Real Madrid, which is obviously that they're the current champions, everyone is going oh yeah, great, amazing and all that. And it's like this,
Except
man.
me.
It's exactly like this. If I'm interviewing with a company and if I think that I'm going to get the job, I'm like, oh, my great company. The day I get the reject, I'm like, what shit company, bloody useless stock price. That's how it's going to be, right? But the minute the manager wins something, it literally is that. The fact that someone like Arteta says we were the better team, the fan base says we should have won this. No, you shouldn't have. Even if you had beaten PSG, there is one mental team there in Inter Milan that will whoop your ass. There is no guarantee we would have won this at all, right? So, I don't know. This fans, I feel, needs and deserves one big title just for what shit we've been put through, man. That's all.
One counter to that. I would still say that winning a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup, it does definitely give a better feeling for the club and the managers themselves, because winning a trophy and celebrating that final, it means a lot to the team, and it creates a different environment altogether. In my opinion,
statement out
they
of
should have something by now. If not, they should. Do not think that you are above Carabao Cup or FA Cup. You have nothing in the shelf. No. This is you cannot say.
No, let me explain.
I don't think Sharon was saying that.
I was not saying it's a bad trophy to win. I'm saying winning that is not going to unite the fan base.
It's not going to be enough.
We would want.
I disagree with that. Winning anything would be good enough.
Bro, He's
For all
talking
fans.
specific
Good
to
enough for the
Arsenal
club.
fans, bro. Like
Yeah,
winning
again,
Carabao
I'm
Cup,
telling
FA
you.
Cup for Arsenal fan is not enough.
I'm
That's what
saying
he's
How
that
saying.
it
is that
yes.
not?
Again, you're not getting the point. We should be winning the titles. So, like
Yeah.
to your point, right? United in their worst 10-year history have won like 6 trophies. They're in a European final. That's that much. They're constantly, whether we like it or not, they're constantly in that for some trophy. They're like that pulse of noise that you just want to get away from, but they're always there. We should be in those conversations. We should be like, oh yeah, we won Carabao Cup after so many years. But is Carabao Cup going to be the point where winning the Carabao Cup, is that going to be where someone like Robbie comes and says, oh yeah, Arteta is the greatest manager and everyone else says the same thing? No, that man's going to come and say, balls, screw you. If you don't win the Champions League, I want it. Now,
That's not the scenario here. That's not the
It is
scenario
the
here.
scenario. That's literally what Avinash said.
No, the equivalence here is that Erik ten Hag had horrible Premier League season, and he won a Carabao Cup or FA Cup. Is that whatever that was? FA Cup, right?
FA Cup,
That's
yeah.
a whole different situation compared to Arsenal going all the way to the semi-final, probably ending up in the second, and still having a trophy. It doesn't matter whether it's a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup. That's a whole different feeling. That's a good positive season, saying that okay, dude, we tried to do in all three things.
you
We
and I
did
are saying
manage
the
to get a
same thing.
cup. Yeah.
The
So I think
inflection
the
of what I'm
point here
saying
is
and what you're
like
saying is different.
if that had happened 2 seasons ago, then I think it would have been acceptable. But then now that this team is poised to do all of this, I don't
Yeah,
think
they
that
should
be
be
So
winning.
what is it?
There's no
Is it
two
like
ways around
quadruple or nothing? Is that what
No.
Arsenal fans are expecting at this point?
L or CL. That is
I am saying
on.
win some title. I am with you. I am saying win a title. It is 100% needed for this club. But is that going to get all of these voices united? I am saying no. There's a small difference between what you and I are saying.
It will be better than not winning anything.
I agree with you. I
he
agree
agrees,
with you.
dude. He's a sane Arsenal fan, man. We are talking of
I
the
am
sine
saying
curve Arsenal
these
fan.
extremes-
We're talking
these
of
extremes
Arsenal
will-
TV.
I am saying these extremes that you're talking about will continue to remain extremes until you can get all of them can get behind a manager that's winning.
Understood.
things.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Okay,
In
so
that Arsenal
actually,
TV that.
Go ahead,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was asking. Now, actually, you guys bring up a good point, right? So, compared to Arsenal this year, right, where let's assume that we'll stay second, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying let's assume we've gone to the Champions League semi-final for the first time in like about 15 years. Do you think we're going to have a worse season than United, who've been 15th and potentially could win Europa League? Like, if you were a fan and if this was happening to your club, which one would you accept?
I would expect.
Probably Manchester
What
United.
Oh, no, I won't. Dude,
Yeah.
come on. Bro,
Really?
that is like, what? 38, what? 19 game weeks of like pain and one final. Are you crazy? I would never be able to accept it.
That is how it is, dude. What is Arsenal doing? Everything pain only, no? What else is happening for them?
I've had a pretty decent year for,
No,
for the most
you're
part.
you're winning a European Cup. You're winning a Europa League, and you're qualifying for the Champions League, and you're going to be playing 8 for sure Champions League games, and potentially with all the playoffs and everything, you may even make it to the knockout rounds.
So
That's
if-
the situation right now
If you.
for Manchester United.
Okay. If you are comparing like the Man-U right now where they are with the Arsenal where they are right now, I would want to be an Arsenal with a lot of potential for like next season. I don't think Man-U has any potential for next season.
Nobody cares at this point. Nobody cares what Manchester United. I'm telling you, if Manchester United wins this trophy, Europa League, and you can, it doesn't matter whether they're a sane Arsenal fan, or a sine curve Arsenal fan. It does not matter at this point. Manchester United fans, despite finishing 16th or 17th, even it does not matter. They would be the happier bunch because they know that they got the Champions League despite finishing 17th, and they know that okay, probably I'm going to believe my manager. They are at this point. Anyway, that's a different topic.
Yeah, you can't argue with the manager's got to a European final. Dude.
Sure, that's the positive thing that's going for Amarim. I'm going to give that to him. His league form is abysmal. I don't know how it's going to happen for him in the next season. But you winning that European Cup, celebrating that thing, and going into the even playing an additional game against the Champions League winner as a Super European Cup or whatever that is. So it all adds up, right? And then potentially they might be in that whatever the Club World Cup or something next season. Yeah.
Okay, so there is a big fallacy in what you just said, right? You're saying that today. You're saying that today. So if they end up losing the final,
Yeah, then that's a very bad situation for them. Yeah.
exactly my point.
Yeah.
So you given today, I was asking you situation as of today. Would you want to be an Arsenal? Would you want to be a United? That's what I was asking. Forget them winning the title.
Yeah, there's a potential for them for winning a trophy against Spurs. So I'm still saying that at this point.
They've not
don't
beaten
call-
Spurs in like 3 years, by the way.
What?
They have not beaten Spurs since like 21 or
Yeah.
22.
Is this how Spurs going to get into their first title? By
Dude,
playing
I-
Manchester United in the European Cup final?
fact that Ange Postecoglou will wake up with the next day after he made the statement, I win something in my second season,
Imagine
and them
that.
having the shit season and winning, right? Oh my god, that would be something to give in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that United fans have had like the better times or the better season this year, but for what it's worth, they are in the Europa League final, and they probably are the favorites at this point with the way it is. Yeah, at the end of
So
the
you're
season,
telling
like
me
fast
today-
forward another week, they will be happier. Yeah.
No. A question was, if as of right now, would you be a United fan or an Arsenal fan? Today. Like
Yeah,
right
I mean, right now, yes, Arsenal has nothing to play for. United still has a European League final to look forward to.
That's
They
my
will still be better feeling, yeah.
Okay.
But
What
yeah,
about you?
I think as a I don't know.
He doesn't want to
I
be.
can never put myself.
He
as a
cannot
Man U-
imagine a Manchester
Yeah,
United fan being happy.
I just cannot.
Or himself as a Man United fan.
Like I would want to be a Man U fan and see them lose the final and then go back to being a Liverpool. That is how bad I want Man U to lose that game.
So you're actually supporting Tottenham in the final.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Why is that surprising though?
It's the first time I've heard anyone in and around me say that they support Tottenham, so which is like
dude,
for me,
only when
mind-blowing.
it's against Manchester.
I understand.
Only
I am
against
also
Man
Team
U.
Spurs. I am also Team Spurs, yeah, by default.
Really?
Yes, I do not think United has any chance of improving under that manager, and this should not be his silver lining and this sneaking into the next season. Yeah.
One second. You just stated that you shared your love for Arsenal just the previous podcast, and now you're like your Team Spurs. What? Like, what are you?
Wait.
He's a-
There is a difference between
La
me
Liga
showing
fan.
love.
Basically, La
Yeah,
Liga fan. So he can
exactly.
whenever he
You
wants.
wearing a Real Madrid jersey randomly
Randomly,
when they're going to play against you is no different than this.
I've always liked Real Madrid. It's not like you know this. I've always liked Real Madrid.
Sure.
I,
So
I don't like Real Madrid anymore, by the way.
why anymore?
What is this anymore?
No,
It's
they
because
are-
of Trent.
Yeah.
That's why I see. Anyway,
Two ex-Liverpool people going to Real Madrid in like Trent and Jabi Alonso.
but Javi was also. a
I
Real Madrid legend, so-
cannot wish them luck at this point.
Xabi Alonso is
was
a
also
Real
Real
Madrid
Madrid.
legend, man. Come on, you can't be sad for
Yeah.
that.
No, I mean for me from a Liverpool perspective anyway.
My God, bro, you're randomly piling on pain because
He's holding vindication for people who've retired from the game and all.
Yeah. I mean, he had the chance to come to Liverpool. Maybe it was like as a premature at that point. I don't know. But yeah,
yeah, I mean, if you again, so he's basically taken the Trent route where, like, you know, if Real Madrid calling you to manage their team, like, there's no way anybody's going to take anything else. Yeah.
I think so. Today I can no longer say I wish Trent luck. I'm like, okay, go. We will play you. I hope you have the worst game when you play us again. But
What if he does like Steve McManaman? Like goes to Liverpool, goes to Real Madrid, comes back to Liverpool. Will you be okay with that?
Why wouldn't they be okay with that?
Wait, didn't Steve McManaman come back?
Did he come back? I didn't know he came back.
I thought someone did, right? Oh no, he did not. He went to Manchester City.
Yeah.
But who was that?
Manchester City?
Yeah, he went. To
I
Manchester
don't think
first.
so. But anyway, yeah.
Someone
Crazy
do that, bro.
hypothetical at that point.
Anyway, yeah.
If he comes back, will I be happy? Dude, as long as you are wearing a Liverpool shirt, yeah, I will like support you. If you're not wearing a Liverpool shirt, I'm not going to be like, oh, go Trent, I want to see you do good. I'm not that saint. And
But
No, I was talking about EA
Jamie
first.
was saying that Jamie means it's not my buddy Jamie Carragher.
dude, why do you quote that idiot man? Like, anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because he's all over the place. What can I do? He's there. He's like, why would you go? I mean, if you don't go to Arsenal or Manchester United or Manchester City as your Premier League rivals, why would you go to a Champions League rival? Because more often than not, you play to them and you lose to them in final couple of times, and then yeah. So is there any point to his concern that, okay, why would you go to a rival team?
What is Champions League rivalry? What is
that made
rivalry?
no sense.
First of all, what is rivalry against like Real Madrid, who have like twice, 15 more Liverpool has? So bullshit.
According to Jamie Carragher, you play for one of the big clubs, then you'll have to go play for
That's
Al
all.
or Al
You're
Qadish or
screwed.
something.
Yeah.
Even there, he'll be like.
You
"What's
basically need to retire there. Yeah.
up?" That's all.
See, dude, he did what is like best for himself. Liverpool were dumb enough to let a player like him go into his prime with his contract expiring, whatever they could have done 18 months ago. And then it is clear at this point, it's not about the money, right? It's about the challenge. Like it's about an opportunity to go to Real Madrid of all places, right? So you can't blame Trent, But then I will not support Trent. That's all I'm saying.
Come on, bro. Let's collectively hate on Mbappe, Jude, and Trent.
I really wish when that final is going on, if PSG are about to win, I hope somewhere they throw a cutout of Mbappe's face, man. I just want to see how, I just want to be like, what is going through his mind? You leave that club to come to Real Madrid, and then the very next season they're in the Champions League final and about to win it.
I hope you guys saw that clip of Luis Enrique giving motivation talk
Motivation
to Kylian
to,
right before the
asking to
second
go
leg
back
against
and
Barcelona.
track and stuff. Yeah.
You say that you want to idolize Michael Jordan. You know what Michael Jordan does when he's not having a good game at offense? He goes in defense. So if you want to be Michael Jordan, you're gonna have to contribute on both ends. It looks like he's just listening something. He doesn't
Immediately,
even understand
Mbappe,
what's going
agent,
on.
I need out of here.
Yes.
They are not treating me as a diva here. Can you please take me somewhere else?
You could see that in his face. He was mentally checked out, and yeah, I'm gonna go to Real Madrid anyway. It doesn't even matter. Yeah.
Luis Enrique actually showered praise on him. He's like, you're the greatest attacking
Yeah.
player in the world right now. There's no
Yeah.
one to beat you. You just have to defend. And even then, he's like, okay, fine, whatever.
Dude, a season ago he was unstoppable for the most
sure.
part. Yeah.
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 2002
Anyway.
and 22 World Cup and all, he was like that year. He was mad.
Yeah, mad.
Anyway,
Let's switch gears to the best Champions League semi-final I have ever witnessed and sadly lost, I guess.
13 fucking goals, man. Can you believe it? 13 fucking goals.
Dude, I mean, I'm gonna just say the bad things first, so that I can leave out of this thing saying positive stuff. The bad things are, okay, you have to do some kind of a basic game management training when you're like goal up and like there's like 3 minutes left to go. That's one thing. I think Barca fans have needlessly jumped upon the referee decisions and all that stuff. There wasn't that bad a situation. Like, yes, there was like a small foul on Gerard Martin for the third goal, but it's very, contact was very minimal. Blame the players who have not covered. Blame Araujo for not defending that goal rather than a referee at that point. And the only issue I have with referee is that the penalty that the tackle Mkhitaryan did again on Lamine Yamal, that actually continued onto the penalty box. Many cases that is technically called a penalty, but it's okay that you're only taking the first contact as your the foul. But Mkhitaryan was already on a yellow and Lamine Yamal was clear on goal. That should have been a second yellow for Mkhitaryan. That was my only issue in that situation. There were so many other calls which are 50-50. It's okay. It happens in a game, but I should not expect this referee to get too much of a heat, in my opinion. That's all I want to say about the refereeing situation.
I think he did pretty well for that. For the stakes that were there in that game, it was just, he did really well.
It's in the heat of the things. I think fans all jump on this stuff. Like it's normal.
The sine cave Barcelona fan. The sine cave Barcelona fan. Fuck you, referee. What the fuck?
It was what I mean. I didn't appreciate Pedri, Hansi Flick, all of them actually jumping on that bandwagon and saying that, hey, referee was unfair to us. Yeah, maybe once or twice. I'm sure that Lamine Yamal, the tackle and the yellow card would have definitely hurt the team. But I appreciated that Hansi Flick at the end, he left the conference saying that, hey, leave it all this stuff. I want to leave by saying that Inter had done a very good job and then they're worthy finalists. So I liked that part. Go to the positives, right? So this team went down 2-0 on both the legs, home and away, and then they've clawed their way back, and then this is nuts, man. So I'm genuinely, I couldn't be more happier about a Barcelona team that is so positive in it does not matter they're a goal up and 2 minutes left, they'll still go on attack. And Lamine Yamal could have had two amazing goals and hits a post, and then the third one he fluffed and Sommer saves, but
Sommer,
they
what
just
a save that was.
he had too many good saves in that game. Yeah.
I think Sommer and Donnarumma.
Yes. Single-handedly kept
Donnarumma
PSG as well, yeah.
he's in contention for Ballon d'Or now.
Sure. He should be.
For his Champions League performance.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, of course, his league as well.
He won the league.
But he was critical in the penalty shootout against Aston Villa. He made several saves, very, very critical saves.
Liverpool.
And I'm
Against
talking
Liverpool
about the Liverpool penalty shootout, and then in the Aston Villa game as well, he made several critical saves. And even this game, we saw that against Arsenal, he made several saves. Yeah,
They'll never give a goalkeeper Ballon d'Or. Let's move on.
we'll see. But anyway, so
Hasn't a goalkeeper won? Levi Yashin has won. What are you guys saying?
when?
96? No, 9. Well, I don't know. Sometime back. I don't know. Whenever.
Okay, bro.
Okay, I will
100.
fact check it. Oh, you're doing it anyway.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Wait. He was the first goalkeeper to win a Ballon d'Or, a feat which no other goalkeeper has been able to accomplish to this day. So some
That's
year
good
he
for
won.
him. Yeah.
Well done, bro. Whoever you are,
Yeah.
I don't know you. But
Yeah, I don't know
Whoever
that
you-
guy. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so the team is clicking. I think there's like the lack of the starting fullbacks have clearly shown our issues. But even then, Gerard Martin was both the hero and the villain for the second leg at least. He was responsible for like the first goal that we conceded, but at the same time he came back and gave 2 assists. Dude, I don't know what Hansi Flick tells during these halftime talks. It's ridiculous how these people turn up after the halftime break. Going into this, I don't think Barcelona should feel too bad about whatever they have done in this season with bare minimum transfers and with all the kids playing, with all the injuries going into the semi-final. It's good. I'm extremely excited for this Barcelona team. I cannot wait for them to fill those gaps within like one of the other winger or a striker and fill this
If we have a
team with
winger, you
like
want to
another
take him?
talent. Who that? Oh, Martin. I think we are probably are gonna get that Rashford guy. I think on loan. Yeah.
Rashford. Okay. That dude's failing up nicely.
I mean, if he shows up like what he does for Aston Villa on a regular basis, I'm sure I can have it. Like it's the same thing, bros. It's about the environment he has. Like Anthony suddenly has like all these magical skills out of nowhere. I think hopefully something like that happens for Rashford as well. Let's see what happens. But yeah,
the only reason why that will not work is because he's English. All these English fuckers are like divas whenever they go out there.
yeah, it's a lot of pressure for an English player to play. I mean, Jude has deserved some credit for for definitely not falling into the same stereotype.
I hate Jude Bellingham. Let's move on.
Right?
Yeah, it's good. I'm
absolutely.
looking forward to the evening El Clasico. I mean, Sunday morning El Clasico.
Oh yes.
Cannot wait, and hopefully I don't think we should lose it. Even if we draw, it's totally fine. We'll maintain the 4 point gap with 4 games to go. 3 games to go after El Clasico, I guess. But yeah, it should be okay. A double and beating Real Madrid thrice and potentially the 4th time in one season. And this kind of a Champions League run is crazy. As a Barcelona fan, I'm happy. Just go wrap up the league and I'll be happy.
For everything that you used to throw on like Premier League, I wish Real Madrid win and we have a title race. Like I want you to go through it on the last day when there are two matches happening. I want you to go through that pain.
Sure, yeah.
But anyway.
Last
I wouldn't
minute
mind
goal.
it actually, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I think the game was insane, man. Yeah, as a so neutral watching it, I don't think there's been any like such a level of like as a thriller. I want like as a selfish guy, I was actually was craving for one more extra time goal from Barcelona, go to penalties, and then finally decided on penalties. But then that didn't happen. But other than that, yeah,
The
you can
outcome
see-
wouldn't have changed if it went to penalties, though.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Penalties is always
Yes, yes,
penalties.
that
But then
is
maybe
just
like,
not
yeah.
good,
So
yeah.
Sommer was in this like insane form, right? But yeah, rooting for Real Madrid one last time before Trent joins and I become an anti-Real Madrid fan.
Anti-Real Madrid fans.
Wait now. So who you think is the favorites for the Champions League now?
I would say Inter.
Yeah.
I
Even
don't
felt-
Yeah.
think it's Inter, man. I think it's PSG. Why I feel so is I feel like Inter plays with a lot of like so grit, etc. But I think PSG,
I think
just
PSG is
the
a much
game
more
management
well-rounded
that they have
squad.
in the midfield, I feel like that will pull it through for them.
No, bro, you can't manage with that. So Inter has the element of the dirty game, right? So they are very good at playing that physical game, and this kid, like the people who look like kids in front of the giants. I was watching the first leg, and I felt like there were 11 Sorlots in the team. I hated that how tall they were, and they were like basically emasculating every single kid in the team. So that's basically Joao Neves and Vitinha. They're like very small stature players. So how much ever they want to play around these large players, it's a decent amount of advantage when there is a physicality around it, and they are very good at set pieces. And Donnarumma is very weirdly weak in the set pieces, so they can make that
Hey,
count.
he
And Inter are a
showed-
different beast. Yeah.
He showed crazy things at Arsenal. I thought he
Sure.
neutralized Arsenal set piece a lot.
But
I think
but
the defenders
honestly,
did more than the Donnarumma.
Yeah.
No, dude,
Efforts,
he
yeah.
was coming and getting every ball. Like I thought, so
No,
that
he was
the
a big
strategy.
presence for sure. He was a big presence in the box that time. But I'll tell you one thing that will actually, in my head, will change the tide in favor of PSG is the fact that they have nothing to play for in the league. They are playing second string, third string team, and Inter are still in a Serie A title fight. So
Oh, yeah.
depends.
And they
on,
only have like 1 week between the last game and the Champions
Yeah.
League. They just have a week.
Yeah.
They
So,
will, yeah. But
I
yeah,
don't
I think it'll still be close. But again, I feel with all the finals, right? It's usually pretty boring because everyone is like so risk averse.
Cautious,
Nobody's
yeah.
gonna play insanely attacking. Nobody wants to make that first mistake and like go on the
Yep.
back foot. So that could probably be like another thing.
PSG does not know how to play that. They tried to do that in Aston Villa and they fell flat. That's another thing. So they know only to attack, just like Barcelona. That's all. They do not know how to game manage or like try to keep things on the slow pace or something like that. No, they strive when they have an attack to go, and Inter would want that and go attack on the counter. That's basically what's going to happen with Hakimi and Mensch all the way up there. So they are going to have like too many counter options. So I feel like Inter has a decent amount of advantage, in my opinion at least, because I've seen them play two legs very closely. This team is just crazy how physical they are, and the things they get away with on the pitch without actually referee noticing, it's very, very dark. But it's needed for a final, something like that. Yeah.
I think the obvious is happening here. PSG beat Liverpool and Arsenal. So Shravan and I are like, okay, if PSG wins, at least our losses will be vindicated. For you, it's the opposite.
No, I actually want Inter to win. I actually want Inter Milan to win.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just and purely because for Acerbi, that's all. I don't care about anyone else. But purely for how much that guy has gone through with his cancer, his father passing away a couple of years ago, and then coming back, scoring the equalizer in the 94th minute, whenever he scored that, or whatever that was, Inter should win it, dude. It'll just be different gravy that point.
I would love it if Dembele doesn't win it.
Because
I wish all the best for Enrique because
and Push's life is like, okay, I will watch Barcelona or I will hate watch everybody else. That's the only thing.
There's no neutral.
That is life, bro. That's life as a soccer fan. What else do you do? Yeah. There is only one of your game and there are several of other people's games. So you gotta find something to watch.
You watch is fine, not hate watch every other game, no?
No. So Dembele and Real Madrid, they definitely deserve our hate watch. Every single Barcelona fan will have to agree with me there. Yeah.
It almost happened with me when you took away this guy
Coutinho?
for 150 million, so Coutinho. But then as soon as I saw Alisson and VVD,
bro, if Dembele had given Barcelona 150 million while going, I would have built a temple for him. Not call him Snake.
What is your exact hate for? Because he went for like less money, or
it's not about less money. It's the pure disrespect he showed over the last 2 seasons where we wanted him. Xavi wanted him to play, and he kept playing the team, saying that there was a full fight between him and Laporta, saying that okay, if you do not sign at least the contract, you're going to be sitting in the stands, and then he would go protest. Xavi had to go and fight for him, fight with Laporta, saying, no, this is my star player. I want this player to play for me, and I want him to think that he wants to play for this team by playing, not rather than sitting in the stands. Okay. This is after year, he disrespected the whole coaching staff, whole medical staff, where he wouldn't even warm up. The number of times I've seen this guy being super lackluster in warm-ups while standing next to Lionel Messi, who is giving his everything in the warm-up line. And then he would go fluff every single shot in the Liverpool game. There are a number of instances where I feel like, I should not be, like, these guys should not be they should not be there in the team. Time and time again, he just stays there and then gets injured. And every single player have supported him so many times, but it does not matter. He disrespected the club to the next level by giving nothing, by costing a lot of money. And while going, he makes this weird kind of deal where if the transfer fee is 50 million, 25 million goes to his agent, and then the remaining 25 million comes to Barcelona. So those are the weird deals they were trying to make in the back end. So there are so many things for me to hate Dembele on. The laundry list is crazy. Somebody can summarize it for you. Yeah.
This is a short reel material right here.
Okay.
Why do I hate them?
I need to leave in like 2 minutes. But let me ask you guys: favorites for Premier League is done. La Liga, Serie A, Champions League, Europa League, and actually Conference League. Because Conference League is actually pretty tasty.
Conference League is Chelsea, bro. I think Chelsea will win.
Really? You think they'll beat Real Betis?
Every Premier League team is ultra crazy, easily dominating over any Europa League team or Conference League team. There's no way. West Ham coming 17th, they could win the Conference League. The same thing will happen with Chelsea and Manchester United. Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying Chelsea, United, Inter Milan, Barcelona for La Liga, and who's winning?
Napoli for Scudetto.
One thing is not giving anyone a double, dude. It's just like everyone is a different winner.
What do you mean double?
While Inter could have won Serie A and Champions League, but you just gave...
No. Napoli has all the time in the world. They are in form. I don't think they're going to lose.
They're
even after they... Yeah, they're 3 points ahead. In Serie A, it's like it's not even the tiebreaker. They have to play a separate game. That's another
Yeah.
final for them. And I don't think like they have enough legs within them to play another game and then go to Champions League. So it's crazy for them to win both Champions League and Serie A. If they want to win Serie A, Napoli has to screw it up very bad.
But they
I don't
are
see them
likely
doing
to
that.
do it,
Yeah.
What about you, Avinash?
Champions League, I think PSG. Europa League, Tottenham Hotspur. Conference League, as much as I want to say Anthony and the GOAT, I think like Chelsea got this. La Liga, I think it's in Barcelona because they have everything. Like I think now that's the only thing that they need to focus on. Serie A, I don't know, man. I don't watch it that well, so I guess whoever is on top right now, I will pick them. Finish it. Yeah.